kings.
So I've gotten a whole bunch of questions here over the week from, everywhere from Australia to Alabama for you guys. But the one question that pops up the most, we'll probably get out of the way in the beginning. It seems to be a common question is the mustached mystique, the mustached man on I guess it was on your first EP, right?
Yeah, and Science too.
And Science,
yeah.
Right. Tell us a little bit about that for those who don't know. Who is this handsome gentleman?
Well, his name is Charles Mulholland. He, the picture, we got the picture from photographs that were taken of him when he was more in his modeling acting period in the mid-70s.
Mid to early 70s,
yeah. Information that's confirmed that we know is fact is that he was a Salem cigarette model in 1976. And sort of unconfirmed information we have is that he taught PE at an all-girls Catholic school, and he did some obscure narrations, like he narrated the 1970s sexual education videos. He was that comforting male voice in the background explaining to you
taught you about the birds and the bees and all the things.
And that time of the month and all those sort
of
things. Yeah.
Actually, I think the name of the video was That Time of the Month.
Really?
That was the one the girls got to see. The boys didn't get to see that one.
Really? I have a rare black and white copy of that. It's extra footage.
And I just heard, too, that he was the original narrator of the film that all of us saw in Driver's Ed, Red Asphalt.
The classic.
Right. So he has the ability to change his voice from, like, the comforting, this is a penis, that type of a thing, to don't drive this way.
Right.
This will happen. No, that type of thing. So
there you go.
He's cool. He's done some cool stuff like that, and we think he has a great mustache, so that's why we put him on.
That's why you put him on.
We all strive to be like him.
Yeah, I'm trying with the mustache.
I see that, and it's.
I can't.
His just looks like dirt when he tries.
Yeah, it looks like dirt.
Well, you got that baby face, Mike. You don't want to obscure it with any facial hair there.
Thank you.
That was for Christian in Florida and Amber in Darien, New
Thanks
York.
for writing to us, Christian and Amber.
Yeah.
I got two other questions here regarding Faith No More. One was from Anthony in Lynbrook, New York, and he just wants to know if there's any big influence there, because he hears a lot of similarities.
There was a definite influence from Faith No More.
Yes.
All of us in the band have been listening to that band since, I think around, was the album called The Real Thing? Yeah, when we were, we were really young.
Kids.
We were like 14 or something when it came out.
Yeah.
Right, so that was, they were an awesome band. They did some really groundbreaking things in their time, and it was kind of a bummer to hear that they broke up. But I think maybe they're all happier now. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done what they did.
I just got a double best of theirs.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, they put it out? They put something
out?
and
they do Midnight Cowboy, the theme from Midnight Cowboy on there, which is instrumental.
Yeah, that's also why they're a cool band.
Very interesting things that they would do, really unlike what they were known for. They really had some good roots, there.
But yeah, big influence, among other things.
Right. Here's a couple of quick ones here. Jim from Sydney, Australia asks, why do you call yourselves Incubus? A basic, simple question, but probably a lot of people
Because it's
wonder.
a silly-sounding word.
And we were 15, and we had to think of a name quickly because we
got to play at a party.
To play a party in someone's backyard.
So how did that go down? Did everybody
put in
terrible. A couple of choices, and how did the vote get decided?
My choice was Spiral Staircase.
Was that yours?
Yeah, I was into like the trippy hippie thing when I was 15.
And Dirk Lancis was Chunk O' Funk.
Yeah, and then Mike looked in a thesaurus, and he's all, Incubus, look right there, that should be our name. We're all, all right.
All right.
And tell everybody exactly what it says in that very book.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I remember that it just said a spirit that seduces women while they are sleeping.
There you go.
So I figured that seemed pretty harmless.
That's pretty good.
Harmless. We were 15 too, and we were
At 15,
like,
it's harmless. Yeah, when you get over 18, then things change.
Right. We're all sex in the name. All right, let's go.
Brandon drew all these pictures of these really seductive-looking women for our flyers.
Did I?
Remember?
No, I didn't draw
this trippy mushroom picture.
Oh, that's right.
With the silhouette of a naked woman.
That's right. That was the only one that I drew. Then we took a bunch of Mike's mom gave him this.
My mom came into my room. I have to interrupt you and tell the story.
Go ahead.
I was like 15, and my mom came in and gave me this book about human sexuality, and she sat me down.
Highly illustrated.
Yeah, all illustrated, no photographs, but very graphic illustrations. And she was like, if you ever have any questions or anything, it's okay to ask me. She
She's
gave me
all,
this
"Don't
book.
ask me
And I was
any
like,
questions.
Read
I was
this
like,
book.
yeah, cool.
Don't come near me.
And so we used it for all our flyers. And there were some pretty, we got calls from
Complaints and stuff.
complaints from parents and clubs that we played in. We were little
I would take
kids.
the
It was
best
fun.
ones
Right.
and like draw like bubbles all around the scenario.
So they were like were they drawings?
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it?
really close up, rad
Right.
pictures. Really.
Sam,
cool
I
stuff
have
like
I have a
that.
couple of questions. Should I use this picture or this picture for our
Yeah,
actual rock
it was
show
awesome.
this
Thanks,
week,
Mom.
you know?
Thanks for the book.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember we used to pass out flyers at high schools by ourselves. I remember kids like looking at the flyer and like, what kind of band is it? You know?
Oh, wow.
So when was your very first show then? You guys were still living, you weren't basically from the West Valley,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was actually in a small community. Well, actually, this was before you were even playing with us. It was just Jose, Alex, and
That was
Dirk and
before
I.
Incubus though.
Yeah, that was before Incubus.
But the first actual
The first Incubus.
official
Where was
Incubus
that?
show.
Was that
It was in
was it at Kristen's?
Kristen's backyard in the pool.
Yeah, same. Actually, the same small community.
And
A
the
place-
football players hated us. There was
place-
like jocks there and they're all nice band.
a place called Bell Canyon, which is on the, I guess would be like one of the northeastern corners of the
Right.
valley, and they had this party there for a friend of ours' birthday, and it was terrible. Jose got off his drum set and tried to run around it in a little circle, like in
And keep the
between.
beat?
And he kicked his drum set over on accident, fell over, and ruined everything.
So that was what, about 4 or 5 years ago?
And that was 8
8 years
Yeah,
ago.
years ago.
That was
All right.
7.5
So
years
from
ago.
8 years to this day, I pick up my Los Angeles Times calendar section one morning. I'm sitting down having a little pancakes with blueberries and coffee, and I look
Good
and I
man.
say, oh, look, here's Black Sabbath, Bill Ward and
Yeah.
Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi and Ozzy, and I look down right below it, and there it says Incubus. And I said, geez, that's Steve Rennie, not Incubus. God bless them. They're playing at the Forum. I
Yep.
couldn't believe it. So
Steve Rennie.
tell me a little bit about the whole Black Sabbath thing.
It's flattering.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, you guys had to have been.
It was pretty. It was.
Were you fans? I mean, I'm
Big time.
I'm an old guy. I'm 39, so when Master of Reality came out, I bought it the day it came out. But I'm curious for younger guys,
7th grade?
did you pick up the Sabbath stuff?
yeah.
Even though it wasn't current at the time. I mean, it seems like a teenage thing to do. If you're a
Right.
musician, you go through a phase.
There was-
Him and Dirk were a little more into it than
Yeah.
like myself or Jose were. Like Jose was into like old punk bands and stuff like that. and
Right.
I was listening to like Iron Maiden and The Cure
There's an interesting combination.
when I was a little kid, and so I had Ozzy tapes when it was just Ozzy, his solo thing. My brother made me copies of
Right.
those. I
Blizzard of
really,
Oz and
yeah,
whatnot,
I really,
yeah.
really loved them, and it was, and in that sense, it's awesome for me to be able to go.
I mean,
do
when you
this.
go back and really listen to the first 3 in particular, Black Sabbath,
Yeah.
Paranoid, Master
Sabbath,
Reality,
Bloody Sabbath.
yeah,
there's a certain, I told this to Ozzy when I did an interview with him, the production on those records, you can put on, Fairies Wear Boots today on your sound system, and it just, it cranks.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was produced, 2 months ago. I mean, it's
they were
so
the
fresh
originators of
sound.
heavy metal.
Yeah, but some of it, does sound dated. Even a lot of
They
80s
even-
things
you know what,
sound-
they even-
their stuff for some reason just sounds.
It's timeless.
Yeah,
it is,
and
very
it
much
has
so.
a lot to do with the era. I mean, they recorded
Yeah.
tried in studios in England in the early 70s, which for some reason, the way they recorded back then, because they didn't build systems for rock and roll as much. It was almost built for music from the 50s and 60s,
Right.
and when you played like hard-ass rock and roll on it, it really recorded amazing, warm sound, that doesn't exist
It's going to be
as much anymore.
really, really awesome to play shows with them. I mean, beside the fact that they're in arenas, it's going to be sold out crowds everywhere that we go. Just to be able to play with a band that, even though I never owned a Black Sabbath record, I have the utmost respect for everything that they did.
The institution of Sabbath.
Exactly. It's like a phenomenon.
I did. I owned many Black Sabbath records.
Yeah.
There was a distinct period of my life where me and my friends would sit in each other's garages and work on our skateboards and listen to Black Sabbath. Really funny, but
So it's definitely an honor.
It's
and,
very much
you're
an
gonna
honor.
have
Yeah.
I'm sure
scary.
a lot of I mean, it must be because you go, and especially like hardcore Sabbath fans. I mean, it's gonna
well,
be
also
little
being
afraid.
we're
It's gonna
scared
be
of,
a
we're
rough-
scared of Pantera's fans.
yeah, right. I mean, these kind of bands that do have this, the following, it must be tough for you to have to go out there and
It won't.
I mean, it won't be. I mean,
We'll take
at the end
it.
of the day, you're gonna love it.
It's
But I
gonna be
mean,
cool.
before you do it, the tour hasn't started yet. I'm sure all sorts of things cross your mind.
Well,
and everything.
you know, we'll just have to. We're just gonna. It's gonna be hard work. You know, we're
We've also
know,
constructed a
playing before those bands.
We've constructed a 50-foot plexiglass wall that put in front of us, so as the tomatoes come bombarding down to the
Tomatoes.
stage.
We'll be
we're gonna
lucky if
a
it's tomatoes, beer bottles, and you know, large sharp projectiles and stuff.
right, throwing stars.
We're not encouraging this, okay?
No.
But it must be like a trip for you, like you said. You grew up, you know, hanging out and listening to this stuff, and then
Yeah.
actually
Well,
doing it.
like the guys from Korn were telling us that when they opened up for Ozzy, like just Ozzy a couple years ago, like people were just like, "You suck, get off the stage!" Like getting stuff thrown at them, and
Right.
I don't know. I'm scared.
The Oz Maniacs. So you start that all off in Vegas, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a great
January
place
2nd.
to start. And you're doing the West Coast
Yeah.
dates. So if you're, what is it, west of the Mississippi, you can catch Incubus opening for that. Here's one from Tokyo, Japan, from
Wow.
Carlisle. She wants to know any plans of going over to Japan. Have you been to Japan yet?
No.
Not
we,
yet.
We'd love to. We're gonna try and do a Japan-Australia run, hopefully next year sometime.
We have a friend from Japan. Her name's Hiromi. If
Yeah.
I hope she's checking this out.
I think you can. with
Because
this
she
internet
she's
world
from
we're in.
Japan, and she's come out to shows in Europe.
She
like
came to
shows
Europe,
in
like,
New
followed the
York.
tour.
and-
Really?
Yeah.
So she's your primo
Yeah,
number one fan?
she's
pretty
the
much?
bomb.
She's really cool.
She's
Yeah.
really awesome.
She always
yeah.
brings us cute little like presents and stuff. We're
How
like,
old is she?
She's like 22 or 23. I think.
Yeah,
She's
she's
got
very.
the bucks to do that. It's probably
She's
pretty
like our age.
expensive.
No,
Yeah.
she hardly speaks English, and she just from what I could gather from her, she would just work and save money up and then take these trips, and she's very quiet, very sweet, and just
We'd like bring her on the bus and like feed her and stuff, and then where are you going now? She's like, I'm gonna jump on the train and go to the next country.
You ever want to just take her with you in the bus, just out of
We thought
courtesy,
about
not
it.
just
Yeah.
so she doesn't have to go wait around in bus stations.
Maybe
she
we should
doesn't.
have done
She
that.
She probably enjoys it though.
No,
right?
she's really cool. So I hope she's watching this. We say hello.
Yeah. What's up,
Speaking of
Aaron?
fans, what kind of fans do you guys draw? I mean, is there a certain type of fan, or do you find all sorts of
It's all
different
kinds of different people. That's
boys
what's
and
cool.
girls, young and
Yeah.
old?
Yeah.
Some places-
pretty basic, eh?
Some places it's more like boys like our age.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you find the music you play to be more male-orientated sound, though? I mean,
I don't know.
When we play our own shows, there tends to be a really like diverse mixture of guys, girls, everybody.
Dogs, cats,
Dogs, cats,
platypus.
armadillos.
Well, you get a lot of the girls for him, because I
Yeah.
get a lot of these questions. I didn't want to embarrass him with a
Girls?
lot of,
Girls, what are those?
questions regarding the sexy one, But
Oh my God.
it seems like
Well, too bad. He's got his shirt on.
Yeah, I'm his tonight.
Michael from Maryland wants to know, Mike,
Yes.
Brandon, who your role models were growing up. Did you have any?
Mr. T.
Mr. T.
I was a big fan of Mr. T too. Come to think of it,
What
I
are
have
the
pictures.
chances?
My dad, his business was in affiliation with what was it? Stephen J. Cannell was the producer of those
I don't know
A-Team
that
shows,
stuff.
and they used to film them near my house in the hills. So my dad would hook it up so me and my brothers, when we were really young, we dressed in all camouflage, we're full like A-Team fans, could go there and watch the shoots.
Wow.
And so we have pictures of us like arms around Mr. T, just all like that. He's
So
like.
this is the West Valley, the same? or no?
Yeah, I grew up like in the hills, like Mulholland area.
Oh, okay, because I know over there, I had a friend that moved up by Canaan Road up there.
It's basically right.
It was
right
where
in
they
my
used
area.
to film MASH.
Yeah.
Like
Malibu
the
Creek
helicopters
State
would,
Park.
yeah, right back
Yeah,
there.
we lived right next to that place.
Yeah, I thought that was a real trip, just seeing like there's MASH right there.
Yeah.
It's right off the 101.
They used to film like the old Tarzan movies in there and stuff too.
Yeah.
Paramount Ranch, basically.
Yeah,
that area.
A lot of the space movies are out there by the rocks and Northridge and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
It's definitely a Hollywood. Everybody thinks Hollywood is, but it's all the valley where everybody
Right.
films everything. Brian from East Lake, Ohio. What music influenced you the most? I think we talked a little bit about that. But
Yeah.
if there's anybody else that growing up, you were saying you weren't as much into Sabbath as you were weird polarity of bands like The Cure and then Iron Maiden. What else?
I was into The Cure because the first time I heard them was the first time that I didn't kiss this girl. She kissed me. She like really kissed me.
You got
a
all
real kiss?
I was like 13, and then I heard I think the song's called "Kiss Me" from The Cure.
Right.
And I was like in that like fireworks state, like kind of dizzy, like oh my gosh, and it stuck with me. So that's why I enjoyed them back then. But I think that our band was very much influenced by, you know, obviously a
plethora.
A plethora.
Oh yeah,
of
because you
different
guys, you
musics.
hear also, and I hear again from things that I pick up. Like I hear like a funk, Sly, James
Yeah.
Brown. I mean, I hear that, you know.
There's a little bit of that in there.
Where's the bridge guitar? You know, the whole thing sometimes mixed in with a lot of different sounds. Obviously, as a DJ and all that sort of thing that you combine. But you definitely pick up a lot of different influences.
Bjork was a
I feel
big
like
influence.
Matt Pinfield. I really hear a lot of different influences, guys. So
Yeah.
you know, Matt's a good friend of mine. He was the
He's
biggest,
a really nice
He was
guy.
the biggest Dramarama fan in the entire world.
They went to our high school, Dramarama,
What?
Calabasas High School.
I went to your high school. I was in
Yeah,
Dramarama.
what are you talking about?
What?
Hello?
I went to. I did not. I screwed up.
You were in Dramarama? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Banana.
Hello?
No, there was
Hello?
another.
Hi,
what band
Brandon.
was it? Not.
I don't know this guy. Just kidding.
What was
Bang
Never
Tango?
mind. It was Bang Tango.
Oh jeez.
Oh my
sorry.
god.
No,
Oh
sorry.
my god.
It's the two.
We're ending this right now.
It's the 2-word name. That's what
All
got
right,
me
I'll let you
confused.
go
I'm
on that
sorry.
one.
We got
That's
to talk
okay.
about these. You were in Dramarama.
Yeah, it was my band. Now, Rennie was my
hell?
manager, man, for my whole life. That's
Come on, live in the now,
How didn't
Brandon.
I know this?
Still be heard on the radio every day in LA for some
That's
strange,
awesome.
strange
Actually,
reason.
I heard one of your songs on the radio like I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something. I was
it's-
like, they're still playing
They're
it.
still playing it many years later. Trip.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Just move on, okay?
Trip from
We'll get
Alabama.
through it.
Brandon, how do you feel about stage diving at your shows?
By who, me or? I guess I'll cover both those. Stage diving is cool as long as you don't skip our DJ.
Oh, that's something. I
and
know.
as long
Does
as
that
you don't-
happen?
Oh,
it
yeah.
happens a lot, unfortunately. We
As
have
long
to-
as you don't
wondered, but
step on our
that-
gear. We have
Right.
problems with people running on
Do you
stage.
get a lot of
and-
kids? I mean, once it starts, it
Yeah.
it's
It gets,
stuck,
it almost kind of like snowballs.
Yeah.
When it's kept to a minimum.
Because like
it's
sometimes
cool.
they go 5 or 6 songs where nothing will happen, and one guy or 2 guys start
Yeah.
doing it, and then all of a sudden it just
It
seems to
becomes
be,
like a diving board. So
Like
to
I have a
speak.
lot of like foot pedals, and so does our bass player, and their microphones for like his percussion and everything, and kids knock them over, and that's all fun and games till someone gets hurt.
Yeah, it can
Right.
be a bit dangerous, right?
A bit dangerous.
All right, Amber from Darien, New York. Has anyone in the band had music lessons or any vocal training? You guys all naturals, or did you guys learn a little?
I took piano
book?
lessons and stuff when I was younger, and
Yeah.
I had a few guitar lessons.
Little Mel Bay
I-
action there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You got it right.
I had a guitar teacher named Peter Layton. He was a really cool guy.
I took sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Go for it.
I was gonna say I took 4 vocal lessons when I was 15 from a guy named Chuck with an afro.
Chuck is
Chuck with an
so-
afro.
Yeah,
Chuck
it was like
is
this
so
big. It was
Really?
rad,
Oh
yeah.
my
He
god.
told you to.
He's gonna be on the cover of our
diaphragm.
next record.
Really? He's got to
Oh.
grow a mustache now, right?
He would, yeah.
I don't know if he needs that. This guy's got his own.
He's taught
thing
like
going.
every kid in the valley how to sing and play guitar.
Really?
Yeah,
And
he's
it-
pretty
does he
famous.
still have the afro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got it's blonde, just like
Wow.
it's like that big. It's rad.
Speaking of hair, here's one. This is for you, Brendan. Though I have a healthy, full head of hair, I have noticed some slight thinning occurring. Brandon, can you give me some hair care tips? This is from Steve Rennie in New York. He just wants some.
Let's see.
Rennie.
Any hair care tips for?
Don't wash it. I don't know, vitamin E.
Shave it. Just go all the way with it.
There's 2 suggestions
Yeah.
for you, sir.
Yeah.
Hope that comes in helpful. Tanya from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Something I must know, and she has made that into capitals. Who does the Karate Kid rap at the end of the science?
I don't know who did.
Who would that be?
That was me.
Can you do a little?
No. only.
You shan't do it
Only
right
after
now.
only after I've watched the Karate Kid like 5 times in a row
And had a few cold ones.
and had a few.
Or when we're in Reseda.
yeah, when we're Reseda.
Reseda,
Near.
the porn capital of the world, according to
No, Daniel LaRusso's house. Come on.
according to the Boogie Nights.
We don't know about that.
We live around the corner from Reseda, and every time we drive in, Mike's all from New York to Reseda.
I don't.
Cobra
Hey,
Kai.
hey.
He starts getting all hip hop on us. It's rad.
No.
So wild. So guys, we're actually done. Let us recap real quick. The current album is called
Science.
and the new one is going to be. When are you going to do that?
It's gonna be called. It's gonna be called the Triumph of Mysterious Floating Torso Man. Actually, I don't know.
That'll
That's
fit
kind of cool,
nicely
though.
on the side of the CD.
Have to
On
No, wait,
tour
what
with
was the other
Black
one?
Sabbath, 15 dates
Yesterday?
in that area, all south of, or west of the Mississippi. It'll be the West Coast leg of the Sabs
Yeehaw.
tour. Really have a really good time on that.
Thank
I think
you.
you're going to make some memories for the rest of your life on that one.
Absolutely.